Hello, once again, wonderful humans. My name is Anthony,
And my name is Eric.
and we are the Board Game Dads coming back to you with another Board Game Dadcast. Today's topic is a good one. They're all good, but this one in particular I'm excited about. We're going to be talking all about essential board game accessories a little bit later on in the show, hopefully with some visual aids this time. But before we get to that, we always like to talk about things that we have got to the table recently. Eric, would you like to perhaps start us off today?
Sure, I'll go for a couple of these.
All right.
So I know in the last episode I talked about how I just got Burgle Brothers and the box was damaged and we played it, we liked it. We haven't played it a second time, but it's getting there. I have since received the new box in the mail.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to get played soon. Just wanted to share that, throw that out. I think Fowers Games, I think they emailed me and so they sent the nice box out.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask how you felt about the whole interaction. It went smoothly.
Yeah. Now,
Cool.
since we played it, the first time we played it, it did have the broken legs. But if we had not the legs, the box corners were broken. If we had played it on that table where it was standing up here, it would have been too high for us.
Okay.
The table that we have, and we'll get to that later, is a little bit higher than a lot of normal tables. So that extra inch or two, plus, we're both short, and we have the game mat on the table. It's just a little too high. So we just flattened the box out and just had it sit right next to it. So it's still a different level.
Okay.
It's not really flat. It's still, this high up in the air. But yeah, that was cool that they sent that out.
Nice. What else?
We also got 2 new games, and by new I mean used, I think. One is called Periodic, and it's a game about like the table of elements.
Mm-hmm.
I have never played it. I was interested in it for a while, and I actually bought it as a gift for a friend of mine because he used to have like the periodic table of elements shower curtain. I was like, oh, this might be a good gift. And so we got it. Haven't played it yet, but we will soon. And we also got the game called Kingsburg, which I have played just once. I played your copy.
Oh, you've played that more than once with me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Probably 2 or 3 times. And I've always really liked the game, but we never needed to get it because you had it. Now we haven't seen you in a while. And it was on sale. It was my local gaming store, so I might as well buy a game.
So yeah. Both these games are previously owned, or they were just on sale?
I'm not sure, actually, if they were. I think one of them was opened, but everything was there, maybe in bags. I don't know if it could have been played. I'm really not 100%. I don't remember opening them, but I know at least Kingsburg wasn't wrapped. So it's probably a demo copy for a while, I'm guessing. And they sold it. I don't know.
Do you know if it's the first or second edition?
I do not know.
I think
I don't know what would differentiate.
I think only the artwork is a little bit different. I think. And no, that's a lie. Well, that part might not be a lie, but I think besides that, I believe that the new version has some of the expansion in it already. Because I have the expansion to Forge a Realm, which you played at least once. It has like a bigger board, like more columns and rows for your buildings and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that might come with that now. So be curious to see. Well, the box cover will probably tell you.
Yeah, it's all the way in the other room, though.
Yeah, that'll happen.
We'll find out next week.
Cool. Anything else?
Well, that's the only games that we've really gotten recently.
I went on recently. Pandasaurus had a nice spring sale on their website. They had a few pretty decent like bundles of games. None of the bundles were really up my alley for a few reasons. Either I had a couple of the games that were in the bundle already, or some of them just didn't appeal to me. But they had a few that were like really dirt cheap, and I actually ended up picking up 3 games from them. Haven't played any of them yet. We've got here's one. That's upside down. Pestali.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a route building game, sort of like Suro.
Okay.
But you can place tiles on top of each other, like stack them.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. We
Still in
got
Shrink.
Still in Shrink. Yes, there are. This is easily the most games that I've had in Shrink in my house in maybe forever.
Hmm.
We also got this guy. Have you ever heard of this one?
I have not heard of that one.
I'm not even sure how to pronounce it exactly. Areal. But basically,
Ariel? Could be Ariel.
it's based on a Portuguese summer festival, and it's
Ariel.
got a bunch of cool polyomino Tetris style pieces, which we all love. And then the last game is called Wayfinders. I can't show you because it's I currently have my laptop sitting on top of it, so there's that.
That's all right. I own the game.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, me and Melissa bought it at PAX Unplugged last year.
Oh, cool.
2 years ago. Last year was the dumpster fire known as 2020.
Do you like it? Do you recall? Or have you played it?
To be completely honest with you, I recall not liking it. I recall it being either a little mean or abstract or something where it's just like me trying to get her. Now, I like a lot more of the less interaction, like almost like a solo game that's happening simultaneously, like the game Karuba or a lot of like roll and rights. That could be a discussion for another Dadcast, though.
That's true. What else? Anything else? Oh, I recently got finally got the Herb Witches expansion to Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh man, we gotta get another fabric.
Yeah, that's right. You need a new color.
Yep. What colors does it come with?
I think it might be black. Hold on, it's right here.
Okay.
Let's see.
What colors are there? It's red, blue, yellow, and green?
Yeah, it's black. I see the tokens.
Black. Okay. I thought maybe it would be like purple.
It's interesting why they picked black, since all the bags are already black that come in the game. But, whatever. Oh, in non-related news, but sort of, because we had a video about Gardening Day back in, I guess, April. I did a lot of planting last week and got probably the most I've had in the ground at one time.
Nice.
I even got some of those like raised garden beds, the 4x4 things. So we currently have tomatoes, zucchini, eggplant, peppers, basil, sage, and I did. I'm trying the Three Sisters thing. So I got
nice.
I got the zucchini for the squash part, and then I bought corn and sugar snap peas.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to see how those.
Peas or beans?
So they're peas, which are not specifically, I think, part of it, but they have still like those like kind of tendril wraparound things. So I think the concept is still the same, but we'll find out. And also a bunch of marigolds, because apparently marigolds help keep
animals away.
Pests. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a bunch of those too.
Now, did you start these from seeds, or did you get like the small plant and put the plant in?
No, these are all plants already.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll take some of the guesswork out of it. But you never know.
Did you want to talk about some of the games you've been playing recently?
Oh yeah, that's right. We can do that, did we? We have our streak still going. Let's see here. We're on, as of today's date, which is the 16th of May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on day 138. Today we played La Granja No
almost
Siesta.
A full school year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe 180 days?
180, yeah. Usually 185 or something like that. Maybe that's our next milestone that we're our next checkpoint. So we got No Siesta played tonight. I got my butt kicked in that one. But I did win Patchwork last night.
Nice.
Still, it's such a weird thing to score Patchwork. You think you do so well, and then you just get so many negative points. Like I thought I lost easily because Lauren got the 7x7 like bonus tile, She almost always gets that, and I'm like struggling to fill things in. And I really thought I lost by like a lot. I ended up winning by 1 point. The final score was 5-4.
I love games like that because I don't mind losing. Right when I'm playing a game and I'm like, I have no idea what my score is. I have no idea what your score is. I don't know how you're doing compared to how I'm doing. This is just like I feel like you're doing good, but I feel like I'm doing. When you can't like figure out that you're out of this,
Right.
that's the kind of games that I like.
So you like games without a score tracker, basically.
There's still, I mean, you could play certain types of games and you can just tell that you're losing and the other person's doing better. But the ones where like you really don't know, those are cool when they have like different weird kinds of scoring and everything. Now, obviously, you could play it patchwork and you could just do terrible.
Right.
So we could just run away with it. But, I'm talking about like putting up a fairly good show of playing a game. Those are my favorite types of games when you can really, it's anybody's game. That's a good feeling.
So do you enjoy games with a sort of hidden goal of some kind where it's
I think that's cool in games.
Yeah.
I don't
I
want
like when it's
every
like
game.
No, but I like when it's something that only you have.
I like when it's something that you can get 10 to 15 points. And that's, that's big in a lot of games, but there's at least 50 different cards that it's not like I get my card, you get your card, Melissa gets her card, Lauren gets her card. And then on the first turn, oh, she's going after purple. She's probably got that card. Like, it's not just about, this card means that you are good and you want to go after orange. This card means that you want to go after purple. Then it becomes a little bit like, I kind of get this. I've seen this game, I like, now I have an advantage over you because I've played this a bunch of times. I know what you're all going after. I don't want to feel like that.
Right.
I want it to be like, I played this game 100 times. We all have different cards. I don't know I don't know who's doing what. I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's on the same page, equal playing field.
Yeah, that's a fair point. What else did we get in? We played Onitama, a little Trails of Tucana.
We also played a little bit of Trails of Tucana.
Oh, so
one of our favorite games.
Yeah. I remember now. What was so exciting is that we got a game in on Mother's Day. We had some family over, and so my brother-in-law, whose family has slowly become a board game family. Their collection has gotten. I mean, it's not huge, but it's a lot more than it was, a few months ago,
nice.
Which is great. And he was the one. He's like, "Yo, are we gonna play a game today?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna play a game today. Who wants to play a game?" So we got to play Dixit, which was great because I haven't played that in a long time. Again, you can't play it with two people. So we had a 5-player game of Dixit. A lot of fun. Everybody loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was real excited to get that to the table. I did win, which helped, but it was just fun to get a game out that hadn't been out in a long time.
We have recently so we got Bloom. I don't know if I ever mentioned that. I got Bloom for Melissa for Mother's Day. And
nice.
We've played that a couple of times so far. And, it's a tiny little game with flowers. It's a rolling right. And we played that right on the couch. And it was so easy. We did it like a week later. We just played it again with the same couch set. I actually sat on the floor on a couch cushion from the old couch. She sat on the couch where she's comfortable. And we had, like a couple of pillows stacked up in the middle where we put the dice tray.
Nice.
And she would roll the dice. I would roll the dice. We could both see them. And we both had like a little, like hard something in front of us that we could write on top of. We had like little serving trays that we both use. So that was cool to be able to play like that.
Cool. What else did you get?
So we got Blue. Like I said before, we played Trails of Tucana again, and we've been playing more Marble Champions.
Did you start your campaign?
We have started the campaign. We have steamrolled through this campaign. Now, we don't play on expert. We just play on standard. But Crossbones was almost difficult. And then I think Absorbing Man, piece of cake. Taskmaster, piece of cake. Arnim Zola was almost difficult. He almost gave us a tough time, but otherwise, right through him as well. And I'm forgetting somebody.
Now, when you play this way with the campaign, do you not know who these people are going to be? Like, did you know you were going to fight these people or not
I
until the game
knew from
unfolds?
opening the box of cards that Red Skull, Taskmaster, and Arnim Zola were in the game. I
Okay.
didn't do any research. I didn't try to get any spoilers. And I just assumed those were the only three, and they were each going to come with their own thick deck. But once we started playing the game and we saw, oh, there's Taskmaster, and there's Absorbing Man, and there's Crossbones, and there's Red Skull, and there's Arnold. So it was cool like that. We haven't fought Red Skull; he's the last one, and then we won. But I maybe we need to start playing on expert because we really had no problems beating all these characters. Now we own everything they make, even the new Guardian set plus Star Lord and Gamora. We didn't open those and take cards out to make, but everything else was free game. So we made amazing decks and we brought them in and we just destroyed everybody.
So, who did you play as?
I was Doctor Strange and Melissa was Captain Marvel.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was maybe those two characters are just powerful. I don't really know. I'm glad we haven't gotten our butts handed to us, but I wouldn't mind a little bit more of a struggle, especially with Red Skull. But maybe that's just because. So another thing, and this got me thinking, I saw Rado talking about the new Galaxy's Most Wanted expansion, and that's another campaign. Gives you Rocket and Groot, and then has a bunch of villains. I don't know who's in there. I haven't looked at it yet. I think the Collector is one. Regardless, he was talking about how hard the scenario was, how absolutely difficult it was. And he was like, it's such a turnoff that it was that difficult. And I wonder if they made it that difficult so that by the time you have all these cards in your deck and you make this amazing deck, you play through this, it's going to be right at that level that you want it to be. It's going to be tough, but manageable. Maybe the decks that come with the game, like the Rocket and Groot decks, aren't necessarily supposed to be strong enough to go through this campaign and beat everybody.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that maybe each time they do a campaign, they're learning. They're like, oh, well, we've been getting a lot of complaints that these are too easy because people are getting more stronger, more powerful decks and, all these good cards and putting them together so that it just works and we just steamroll them.
So is Red Skull's the last one you have? Like Red Skull himself?
Skull's the last villain, and then we've played through the campaign. And then we can take any of these villains and fight them at any time. Right. We're not always going to have the most amazing deck for Doctor Strange. Sorry, my wife's going to sleep. I was trying to wave at her, and at the same time, like, not do it on camera. And now she's gone, and she can't see me waving. Anyway. So we're almost done, and then we'll put all the cards back, and we'll make decks for other characters that we use. But I'm not going to go through all the the justice cards or all the aggression cards and just make this one great deck. I don't know what we're going to do, but I want to make it so that there's a few characters I can play as at any given time, and I don't have to sit there and go through making a deck just to play at that. I just want to grab it and play. Mm-hmm. But now that we're done with the campaign, game's going to get shelved for a while. We've been neglecting our other board games, and it's time. Like we're looking in the book, it's just Marvel Champions, Marvel Champions, Marvel Champions, Bloom, Marvel Champions, Marvel Champions, Marvel Champions, Trails of Tucana. And so we got to give it a rest before we get too excited and just play through it and then we're bored of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all we've been playing recently is Marvel Champions, the occasional couch game. I think maybe it's time to get on to our topic.
All right. So we're talking about what are some cool accessories to have in your board game room or just in your possession or that you just enjoy using, even if it's one you don't own, I guess.
Essential
Well, I
accessories.
said essential because there's no such thing, right?
There is a table is essential,
Is it? You just said you played games on the couch.
but you have very few games to choose from. Like, if you want to have people over to play games,
Hmm.
these are the things that it would be nice to have. If you want to just play a lot of board games at your house, these are the things that it would, are also essential, right? Like, I don't want to play a bunch of games here and not have a table. Have to have a decent table.
Okay. So a decent table is an essential thing.
So, you know what? Let's start off with a table,
Yeah.
because I know you have a nice table. I forget what kind it is, but it's got the nice, is that felt top.
Yeah, I guess it's felt. It's not.
It's like pool table stuff.
You know what? It's a little bit different.
Mm.
It's hard to explain. It might be like a vinyl type thing. Not vinyl. I don't know. I'm really bad at describing like materials, but it's not felty the way like it doesn't like peel up or get like fuzzy or anything like that. So it's not that felty.
Right.
It's pretty smooth
Okay.
overall. Um,
And
yeah,
it's a nice table. You got cup holders and like
oh yeah,
component holders and everything, and it looks nice. We don't have that. We have a table that is like, I don't know, 100 years old. Belonged to my great grandfather, and I forget what it's called. It's an enamel top pull out side tray table where it basically, I have some pictures. So, in the you could just have this regular table, or you can pull out these side trays and you can have like little shelves that you can have some of your stuff over here, and it's hidden by a tabletop that's about this thick, and then the other person has a little shelf over there, and then you share the main top of the table.
hmm
Or you can pull those trays all the way out and just make a larger table. So it's like a space saving table. You can either have a rectangular table or a square table of the same length as the rectangular table.
So when you fold out the things, they're even with the rest of the tabletop, or they're lower.
As you're pulling them out, they're lower. They're sitting underneath, and you don't have to pull them out all the way. You can have it almost that, like, it looks like kind of like a picnic table, right? Where it's got the one table and then the two trays lower and outside. And so we play like that a lot. It's nice to have like this little area down here. I can put my stuff down here. You don't need to see what I have. If it's a cooperative game, I'll just tell you.
Right.
Or we can pull it all the way out and just have a larger table.
Nice.
So yeah, it's cool. We are eventually going to upgrade to a regular, either dining room table, maybe get a tabletop. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But for now, this is what we got, and it gets the job done. There are a few games that we're neglecting playing because they take up a lot of space.
Mhm.
Like, there's a few games. Sometimes playing Carcassonne with all the expansions, like we just can't do that anymore because
Right.
we just don't have the table space. But Seventh Continent is another one. Snowtails is another one that just take up a decent amount of space.
Oh yeah, the track. Yeah. A nice board game table is something obviously that I've wanted for a long time as well. I just would never pull the trigger on it. Financially, it's just not a necessity by any means. I was just really lucky that my wife and a lot of my family and her family went in on this as a gift for me for my 40th, and I was really excited about that. So very happy to have it, and hopefully it maintains. Now, for someone like you who doesn't have one yet, I think going with the dining room table with a topper is probably the way to go,
I
because
think
you
that's
need
the
both
plan.
things. Yeah,
Right.
I think that makes sense. And then, like you said, you just take it off. You want to have the dining room, put it back on, play the game. Either way, cool. So, regardless of if you have a nice table or not, what are some other things that you feel are pretty essential to have around for games?
All right. So I got to tell you, I didn't mean to, but I put these in order.
Oh, okay.
So I really have 9, and then I have 3 others that I guess are they're not essential. They're luxuries. But in order, table's number 1.
Okay.
You got to play board games on a table, whatever kind of table it may be. Number 2 I have is, in our house at least, our journal. We play enough games that it's nice to be able to look back on all the games that we've played, write stuff down, who won, who lost, what day is it, what did we play, who won, who was all playing. And we thought we lost it for a little while when we moved to our new house.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was a lot more stressful not knowing where it was than it really should have been. Right? It's just a book with a bunch of, but we were really upset. We eventually found it. We had packed it somewhere, I think, after coming to your house to play games. So we just put it in a bag and never checked it again. And so we have it now, safe and sound. I went out and bought the exact same one so that now we actually have two of them because we liked it so much. It's got like the legend. It's leather. It's got like the Legend of Zelda logo imprinted on the front.
Yeah, you have a nice one. Mine is just like I think it was in the discount bin at Barnes & Noble one day. I mean, I like it. It's colorful, but it's just kind of random. Now, how far did you start writing in the new book before you found the old book? Do you remember?
It was probably, I want to say it took us maybe a month, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
It felt like at least a few months before we found it. And we had just moved to our new house. We had a lot of unpacking to do. We had just had a baby while living at the new house. We had a lot of, uncrapping to do. There was a lot going on that we didn't play a lot of games for a while until we developed a routine. And then once we figured out when we can play games, that's when we got them to the table.
Right.
I do remember when we first had Zoe, we played a lot of video games. And Melissa, who's a gamer, would like be holding Zoe and playing video games while holding for hours. And that was it. We played a bunch of video games with the baby, and then she was able to crawl. And now we haven't played any video games. It's probably since then.
So, besides the journal, this one is kind of, I was on the fence about putting it on the list or not, but you got to have some way to organize your games, right?
Right. I have a shelf, and I have that as my number 8.
Okay.
So it's still essential that it made the list, but you don't need a shelf. You could keep them in boxes, keep them in stacks against the wall. The other stuff I feel like is more vital to actually playing games.
True.
So my number 3 then would be music. You got to have some sort of way to listen to music in the background while you're learning, setting up, playing, and breaking down the game. You can't just sit there in silence. I can, at least. You might be able to. So it's, and you can just, hit play from Spotify or whatever on your phone, but the sound's not as good as on your phone as it is from like a little portable, like JBL speaker or something. Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to have something. If you're going to be listening to hours of music, you want to have something where it's going to sound right. So that's my thing. Some sort of music system with good audio.
And that's an easy one to acquire. There's so many little Bluetooth speakers now that you can get your hands on for not that much money. I agree with you. I really do enjoy to have music on in the background. We talk a lot about holidays, and obviously when it comes to Halloween or Christmas time, there's specific music that's going on. But in general, I enjoy it. It depends, though. Like you mentioned, learning the game. If I'm learning a game from scratch, I don't think I want the music. For me personally, I'll get distracted. Like okay. I'll have to read something like 5 times before it sinks in. If there's like a song on that I'm like, do. But in general,
that's fair. That's fair. But right. I just like listening to music in the background. Sometimes I don't even realize it's on.
How about we mentioned table?
Right.
Chairs?
I did not include that.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. You're going to be sitting there for a few hours. You want to have comfortable chairs. You're going to have people over that you're going to have a 4-player game. You want to have comfortable chairs, and you want everybody to have the same chair. You're going to have 6 people over. All right, maybe it's acceptable for like 2 of them to be on different chairs.
Right.
You've got to have at least 4 somewhat comfortable chairs. They don't have to be like the chair on wheels that you can swivel and lean back. And it's not an office chair, not a manager's chair, but something with, some padding for your butt.
Yeah. We have folding chairs that have a little padding on the butt and the back part.
And leg space. The table that we have, depending on how you sit at it, if 4 people are sitting at the table, 2 of them don't have great leg space.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
Chair
that's a good
chair
one.
uniformity. You don't want your game room to look like Charlie Brown Thanksgiving with all the different chairs around.
Right.
Like a lounge chair,
Yeah.
folding chair, director's chair. All right. What else?
All right. So let's see. My next one. This isn't really an essential accessory. Lighting, right? I guess it could be an accessory. You're going to play games where you can play games and you want to hope that the lighting is good. If it's
Right.
not good, then it's an essential accessory. You got to go out and get something else to make it a little bit brighter, whether it's just a light bulb or like a whole light stand and everything. But you don't want to be playing games in the dark. You can. I'm sorry, in the dimly lit, area. You can, but it's just you want to find the right lighting that's going to make it easy to read and play games.
That's true. Because the other side of that is that you can have a light that creates like way too much of a glare.
Yeah.
Depending on the game, some games are really shiny, and it's just like I can't like tell what that is. So there's that. All right. Where do you? All right. So you have. Let me see if I can guess some rankings of yours. So you have. I named your number.
I did my first 4. You named my number 8. Now, I might have, because I love my board game shelf. I love it. So I feel like 8 doesn't really do it justice, but that's where it is.
Okay.
But I wouldn't rate it on that. There's only 1 after that, and there's still another 4 before that.
Okay. So 1 after that. I'm gonna take a guess that you think a dice tower is the least essential.
You are correct.
It is
the least essential that it did not even make my list.
Oh, okay. So I'm technically not right because it's not your number 9. Okay.
No, but you said it was your least essential. You're right. Out of the list that now I'm writing it down. Dice Tower. Now, Dice Tower, the group, company, whatever, the
channel?
The channel. Oh, my God. Dice Tower, the channel. Yes, that's essential. But I left that off the list.
Yes. I have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice towers. Now, one of them came with Fleet, the dice game. It was part of the Kickstarter. One of them was an upgrade that Lauren gifted me for Wingspan.
The only dice tower I have is the one that came with Wingspan.
Okay. I have a plastic one that I think Lauren gifted me a while ago, and then another shorter wooden one. But my favorite one, I think, was handmade by our friend Whitey, John. And it's the biggest one. It's got a cool like base, and it's just really thick wood.
Yeah, that's a cool looking one.
And it's just it's handmade, which a lot of stuff is handmade, but this is like literally he took wood that fell from trees during Superstorm Sandy, and used that to make this dice tower. And it was cool because when I asked him about it way back when, to him, he had no idea what I was talking about. So I had to explain to him what it physically is.
Oh, he probably loved doing the research. I mean, like, wow, this would be so cool to make. He probably loved it.
Yeah, he loves that kind of stuff.
You made his day asking him to make that for you.
And I had forgot about it for a while, and he gifted it to us. I think when we got married, he might have given it to us as a gift. So I even put a couple of custom meeples that we had with our names on it. I glued them in the front, which serve 2 purposes. Actually, it looks cool, but also it prevents a lot of the dice from falling all the way out of the tray, just because the way he kind of like designed it. So that helps too. Oh, geez. Just like took out my my wire.
Just moved. There you go.
All right. All right. What else you got?
So, all right. So my number 5, my 5th most essential board gaming accessory.
Right, let me guess. Dice.
Dice.
Mm.
That would have been an impressive guess had we not just gone through this whole thing and then had to re-record it.
Mm.
Anyway, it doesn't matter if you have a whole ton of dice or if you just have a couple. You want to have some dice on hand. Everybody wants their own die. If you're going to roll to see who goes first, I like to use D20s. I have enough that I can hand out everybody their own personal colored D20. Of course, mine is metal and larger. So it's just going to barrel through them all on the dice tray. But I love having extra dice. I love to replace the dice, the bland looking stupid dice that come with some of the games, with nice fancy dice. It's cool. If you don't want to, spend the money to put in nice dice in your game, I appreciate it maybe being a dollar less, right? Like instead of getting us nice dice and then I can put my own in there.
Sure.
And I do. So yes, that's my number 5.
Some games are nice to have just extra dice in them. I'm specifically thinking of Artifacts Inc. because you can gather more dice in that game, and at some point, I'd rather have my own set than pass them back and forth, right? Like, oh, I have to roll 6 dice this turn, so give me those 2 back, and then I'll give them back to you after my turn. It's fun. Yeah, I like that. Is D20 your favorite shape die? Or are you a D6 man?
I don't know. It's one of those two. I think it's cool. I like the 2-sided die, right? Because we play a lot of 2-player games.
2-sided die?
It's just a coin.
Oh.
But we play a lot of games. I am used to the D6, right? That's the traditionalist in me. Likes the old school, right? Likes the D6. But the gamer in me loves that D20. And like I said, I have this nice one. It's glow in the dark. It's a bright blue. And I love it. And I am usually pretty good with it in terms of who's going to go first. I don't often roll a lot of crap. I don't know if you could hear that, but my crazy cat just ran.
Oh, that was the cat?
Gallop. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a dog.
No, he's a big cat.
Love that Lobo.
All right, so that was my 5th. What you got another one you want to bring up? Like try and guess what my 6th is?
Well, so the other one I have, and it very well may be on your list. I think it'll be on your list. I think because it's more essential and more, I guess, just user friendly than a dice tower, and that's a dice tray.
Right. That's actually my number 7.
Okay.
But for good reason, and I'll get to my number 6 now. But yeah, dice tray. We have 2 of them. We don't have any large ones. We have maybe one that's like this big and like hexagonal, and then we have another one that's maybe like this big and wooden rectangle.
Oh, with like felt on the bottom.
Yeah, and they're both nice. They work good in certain situations. We don't always have room to have this big round, space stealing thing. So then we get out the little one and we play it on that. Also, the little one, they're both actually good when you're doing a Zoom call and you're playing where you have to roll dice. They both fit nicely in the camera screen. So when you just roll dice, everybody can see everything.
And when you're doing couch games, it's nice to have a dice tray.
Oh, yeah. Got to have walls, stop those dice from going underneath the couch and coming back with all types of animal hair and cat toys and hair ties and Cheerios.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So my number 6. Now, this is not going to be a lot of people's number 6, or it's not going to be that essential.
Okay.
People that have a nice gaming table don't require player mats. Now, certain games have player mats that are cool. It makes it look nice, more presentable on the table.
Sure.
I get them for some games, not for others. I don't know why I discriminate. Some games I just like more, and I want to spend the money. I'm very excited about the Cartographers one that I backed. That's coming soon.
I don't know if I did that.
That's a big mistake that you didn't. Anyway.
No, I backed it. I don't know if I backed it at that level with.
It was just an add-on.
Oh, okay.
So we have 2-player mats, and they're like, I don't know, 28-inch by 14-inch, something like that. Mouse pads, and we just got some cool looking scenery that's not too loud, there's not too much going on, but it's got some nice colors, and it's fine. It's not going to distract from the game, but it's not just the bland, boring tabletop. Also, our table, it's enamel top, so it's almost like steel, right? It's cold when you put your skin on it, so it's not always that much fun. But having a nice mouse pad, giant mouse pad in
Yeah.
front of you for your stuff, in front of her for her stuff, and the table fits perfectly, both of them back to back. So we play it like that, and we love them. Stuff doesn't move around as easily as it would on a normal, like slick surface.
Sure, sure.
So yeah, for us, with the type of game table that we have, game player mats are definitely, definitely my most essential accessories list.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You don't need them though. You've always got a nice table.
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, I had a poker type table before this one, so that was kind of
But it still had
a
that
nice
kind of
surface.
material. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you just keep them out all the time? Do you
Oh
not?
yeah, all the
Yeah, you
time.
don't roll them up.
Nope. If we have to play a game where we have to take the table and like make it larger, then
Hmm.
we'll each have one in front of us,
Okay.
depending on the game, really. Spirit Island, we just keep them right in the middle and just put all types of stuff all over the place, and then have a fantastic 2.5 hours of Spirit Island playtime.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's my number 6. You hit my number 7 with Dice Tray. Oh my god, I actually got 2 more.
All right. I think you're gonna have
I have 2 more, and then I have 3 that are like
okay.
honorable mentions. They're honorable mentions.
Okay. One I think you should have. It's definitely on my list, and it's on my list. In my list, I didn't rank them or anything, but
I didn't plan on it.
yeah,
It's just
no, but it's this one in particular. I think is the thing that I've like most recently discovered how much I like having them, and that's component holders, component trays of some kind.
To be honest with you, I would have to reorganize my whole. I forgot to write that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You just write that in there and make it like, I don't know, 2.5 or something. That's low. That's something that you need. Make it 3.5. We'll put it right after music.
It's so nice in a game like Quacks of Quedlinburg, for example. Like instead of separating all those tokens or putting them all in one giant pile and like sifting through them, to have them in those containers during gameplay and then pack them up like that too. Like I'm getting more because I like to keep them in the box now, as opposed to just having them, bringing them out for a particular game. I do have some that are just like little plastic bowls and stuff that I'll keep out separately, but the ones that I have from I have a few from the Dice Tower, a few from like Stonemeyer games. A lot of their games come with them. The clip-on ones, or not clip-on, but they close, and then
Like
you
the
open
ones
them.
that come with Wingspan.
Yeah, exactly. And you use both. You open it and you have 2 containers now. That's cool. And you have really cool ones because you have those ones that are like split down the middle.
Yeah, I got some. I actually saw on Instagram. I saw a Glory Hound who's on the Dice Tower, and she was talking about she did a video on YouTube, actually, not Instagram. Maybe it's who cares? Where she was talking about these game trays thing, and I was like, oh, I've been looking at those for a while. And she was like, oh, they're so tough. She could stand on it. And then she drove her car over it and destroyed it. But who's going to drive the car over it?
Wait, hold on.
I guess it was
I'm
I'm
picturing Napoleon Dynamite now when he drives over the Tupperware container. So does she not think it was going to break?
I think she knew it was going to break.
Okay.
But I think the video was like, how awesome, how durable are these, or whatever. So she stood on it. She put some games on it. Then she stood on. Then she was like, no, I'm going to drive over it. I think she knew full well this thing is not going to make it. Anyway, I was like, oh, I've been looking for these things. I've been looking for, component bins that have the divide down the middle where you have 2 bins. And then there's a different divide where you have 3 bins in the same one. And I couldn't find them. I thought maybe they sold them on the Board Game Geek site, but I've never really shopped there and I don't know what I'm doing. So I haven't looked.
Now, do the ones that you have, do they come with a lid or is just
they come with the lid? They're a little bit wider than the ones that we're used to with Wingspan and Dice Tower. Those are both like the same kind of shape. These are a little bit wider than that. But yeah, they're awesome. They're really helpful in games where, especially again, I'm not going to keep harping on Marvel Champions, but in Marvel Champions, we play 2-player.
Right.
So we know how much of these types of counters we need and how much of these other threat counters we need. And we can just take everything we don't need, put it in a bag, throw it in a box, never move it. And every time we play the game, we take out this one thing that has the divider. So it's got, these tokens over here, these tokens over here. Take out the other one. Boom, done. Everything's set up.
Right.
And instead of having taken out of the bags and pouring them in, because they don't all fit into just one half of the thing. So all the ones that say 5 on it that we never use anyway, they stay in a box in a different bag.
Nice.
But yeah, that's component bins. I forgot that. That's a good one.
All right. So now I'm struggling to think of what else you might have.
Again, it's a bit of a stretch on a lot of these.
Right. Well, because you said things like music. So now I'm thinking, I'm trying to think out of the box a little bit. Like, so are you considering snacks?
Snacks is my number 10.
Aha.
And I know that's a weird one, right? It's not a gaming accessory, but knowing what kind of snacks you can bring to the table and also having like an area that you can, eat them with. And I don't want people coming to my house thinking that they can eat wings and play a board game.
Right.
That doesn't fly with me. We can stop.
Not at the same time.
We can go and eat. And Doritos, anything that's going to get, a little bit of mess on you. I don't care how clean of an eater you claim to be. You're either going to get like Dorito cheese or ketchup or, like your own saliva from licking the Dorito cheese or like get it on the bit. I don't want that. But there are some snacks, pretzels, celery, and carrots. Those are real good snacks. And there are a few decent ones where, you bring out some little cups over here of some, maybe some nuts and some other thing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And
trail mix is pretty good for that reason.
But having a setup, knowing what you're doing and how to bring it out to have other people over.
Right. Even something like just regular potato chips are not necessarily messy on their own, but they're like greasy
sometimes.
Yeah. That's. Listen. I'm a texture guy. I don't like stuff on my fingers anyway when I'm eating. If I'm eating like something that with my hands, like wings, for example, which I don't particularly enjoy for that reason, I clean my hands several times during the meal. Like I can't, and my mouth, to the point where I've started to eat. If I eat Cheetos or anything like cheesy like that, I'm starting to actually use chopsticks. So that I don't have to touch them at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That helped me practice my chopstick.
There you go.
Technique,
there you go.
Which is garbage. Anyway, so I got. Let's see. That was my number 10. So I got my number 9, and then I got my 3 honorable mentions. You got a stab at any of them?
How about I would venture to guess that you might want some extra dry erase markers.
That's close enough. I'm going to give that to you.
Okay.
My number 9 is extra bits. Meeples.
Okay.
Cubes.
Okay.
Coins. Markers. Right. Whatever counts as pencils for roll and write. We bought a whole thing of mechanical pencils. So every time we get a roll and write, 2 go in there. We get another roll and write, 2 go in there. we have plenty that we can do that. Dry erase markers, same thing. But just in general, extra bits. I love to replace meeples with better meeples.
Or replace cubes with
meeples. Let me rephrase that. Replace cubes with meeples or replace poorly chosen color meeples with more vibrant colored meeples.
Okay.
Right. If you're going to make a game and, there's an orange player and you look at him and he's like a cross between copper and brown. You're like, this is orange. I'm going to replace him and I'm going to bring in a bright orange meeple. And I think that's great that you can do that. You can replace cubes and they didn't want to make the game super expensive and have all these extra. So they just use cubes. Okay, cool. Yeah. I can do that on my own. And I do. We've done that for a few games, like Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons. I love that game so much more when we're using little meeples. You got to get green, purple, orange, and white. And it's cool because you're going to a place and you're somewhat removing the cube. So just remove a meeple.
Going back to the pencil thing, totally agree with mechanical pencils are the way to go. Specifically, I like the ones that, oh, I have one right here, that look like a regular pencil from first glance.
Right.
I like this setup here. Most pencils you get with roller rights are garbage.
Oh yeah, they're like mini golf pencils.
Yeah, they're mini golf pencils. Some of them don't even have erasers on them at all, and I usually end up tossing
Boy,
them.
do
Or
I make mistakes. I
well, I
always
mean,
need the eraser.
I forget what game it was. It might have been Quinto or Quicks, one of those little roll and writes where it's like it almost said like it was like a variant that once you're really good at the game, you can start using pen instead of pencil. I'm like, what? No pen on these sheets. That's absurd.
All right.
All right, let's see here. What else? So what do you got? I got two more. You got two more to guess?
So I have 3 honorable mentions. Yeah. They're a little outside the box. That's why they're honorable mentions.
Coasters.
That is not on the list. All right. So it's miscellaneous board game themed accessories like a mug or a shirt or a poster on the wall. Something to look at that
Okay.
is also like, hey, we like board games. We don't have a lot of that stuff. Most of our stuff is comic books or Star Wars, which, there's games of. But I got some meeple shirts. Melissa's got some meeple shirts. We got a few other things. But
Okay, so honorable mention because they're cool, but they don't
right.
change. They don't change the gaming experience, really.
And as far as coasters, coasters, no, not on the list. But if they're meeple shaped coasters or something like that, sure, put them on the list. So that's one of them. And then depending on how much you love board games and whether or not you want to broadcast it to the world, you're going to need recording equipment. I own this microphone and these headphones specifically to do these videos.
Yeah, okay, but that
Again, honorable mention.
Yeah, okay.
Honorable mention. Because I wouldn't have bought these things if it wasn't for board games. And then the final one, another honorable mention is if you are unlike me and you have the time and talent to paint your own miniatures, you're going to need some painting accessories. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying to get them painted. I'm not complaining when they're not painted. Just not going to do it. It's not my thing. Now, if my kids are old enough and they want to, sure, I'll let them paint some stuff. But I'll tell them, hey, listen, you can't just paint one. You have to paint all of them. You can't start painting one, do a poor job, and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Then you got to paint all of them in a poor job. I don't want they all got to look the same. I don't want, one of them painted and the rest of them are all,
this is crappy. Keep it up.
Yeah. Just do more of it. Maybe one of them will turn out good by the end. I don't want you quitting after one. You already, tampered with this game, which is fine, because I'm going to allow them to. But now you have to finish it. And I'll tell them that before they start. Be like, you can't.
But you also mentioned that
Pringles.
Pringles, very overrated snack overall. I'm not a big fan. Anyway, you also mentioned previously that though you don't have a lot of miniatures games because you have so many hero clicks.
Right. I have games that I would love to get painted. Star Wars Imperial Assault. I don't even like the game. We tried playing it a handful of times, and I didn't like it. I couldn't. I had bad experiences with it, but I have so many characters. I want to see them get painted. If they all look painted, I'm definitely going to just force myself to like the game and play the game more. Wonder Woman, Challenge of the Amazon. It's only got 5 little miniatures. They're all gold.
Yeah, that's true.
Put a little color in there. Even things like Spirit Island that got little buildings and stuff. It would look cool painted. There's a lot of them to paint, but they're probably pretty easy. Just do the walls gray, do the roof brown, great, done, house. But yeah, there's lots of components in games that could be painted. It's not all miniatures.
That's true.
I can't believe I forgot component bins though. Like I love them.
Yeah,
We have them all on both side tables over there.
and I'm pretty sure like you got component bins, and the next day you were like, "Hey, we should do a Dadcast about accessories because I got these cool bins."
That sounds exactly like the kind of thing that I would say and or do. So yeah, that almost definitely happened, and then I forgot them when I was writing everything down.
Nice. Yep, that will happen.
That will happen.
Well, folks, you do not need any of the things that we just mentioned by any means. They are definitely,
Except for number one.
well, yes, you need a place, but you could play on the floor if you really were that desperate.
That's still a place. You need a floor.
You need a floor. You need a floor. Yeah. Other than that, everything else is just kind of flavor, but fun.
Yep.
Cool.
This is my gaming room is my mecca, and I want it to be filled with not just luxuries, but things that will enhance my experience, make it more pleasurable, a little bit easier. This is a little bit closer over here. This just looks nicer in general. We have, themed music. Oh, we're playing a pirate game. Let's listen to the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack. Oh, we're playing like this tropical game. Let's throw on some Hawaiian music. And yeah, it's all about the experience. Let's enhance that in every way that we can.
Yeah, I agree. It's about having fun. So if you can add some stuff relatively easily, like music is just music, right? You don't have to buy it. I think that for sure the music, the seating, right? Like you said, the decor are things that are not essential. The gameplay is not going to change, but it makes it that much better. Whereas if you don't have a dice tower for a game, it's like, who cares? Like it's nice, but
that's why I didn't put it on my list. But I probably would have had I thought about it when I was actually writing everything down. I was like, oh yeah, sure, that'll be number 10.
Fair enough.
Instead of just 9. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
All right, folks. So that's going to wrap it up here for another Board Game Dadcast. Thanks for sticking with us this long. And obviously in the comments, let us know if you agree or disagree with anything that we mentioned. Maybe you have something that we forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know for sure. Or just anything you enjoy doing on your particular game night to make your experience better. We'd love to hear about that.
I want to hear the people talk about what kind of table they play on. I want to know if it's mostly gaming tables or if it's mostly kitchen tables.
Yeah, I think you're going to find a pretty good mix of both for sure. Because there's certainly people that are in both camps.
Or if it's the floor. Because that's all you need to play a game.
Well, listen, when we played games as kids, I bet you a lot of times it was on the floor. I mean, I know
you are not
at least
wrong.
at like Raj's house, for example. I mean, we almost always just played on the carpet in his room, I think. At my house, we played Hero Quest down in the basement because we had an old dining room table that was down there. And that was kind of cool because Hero Quest was a very sprawling dungeon crawly type thing.
Yep.
But a lot of other games that
played it in your dungeon.
Yeah, it was kind of dank down there. But a lot of games that are just a board or some cards, you could certainly get away with playing on the floor or even a couch.
Yeah, if you don't like your lower backs.
All right, folks. Thanks again. And make sure you like and subscribe. Go check out Eric over at the Meeples Republic on Instagram. Yeah. And
I haven't been doing much on Instagram recently. I don't really have the time. There's other more pressing matters to attend to. And I've kind of fallen out of touch with it for now. I'm not like just not checking it. I still go on there. I try to go on there and check other people's stuff just so the people that I like I can follow and see what they're up to.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been putting a lot of content on there, so you can check it out. See what I used to do.
All right, folks. We're gonna cut the cord here. Thanks for bearing with us, and we will see you next time.